Living Room Logic. This is Spread the Good, a weekly mini-series brought to you by Living Room Logic, where we talk about things like
the progress to normalcy during the COVID-19 pandemic,
how important it is to be compassionate,
and answer questions from our socials at Living Room Logic. Come find us to join the conversation. Welcome back to Spread the Good. It's been another really lovely week in the world of success stories and in the world of things coming back to normal. And I think it's something we've all felt. I think in April there was this big feeling that we all kind of shared of exhaustion, emotional exhaustion, and just this was coming out in frustration, this was coming out in anger, it was coming out in fear. But I think now people are really seeing the end. Like, I think people are, nearly everybody's parents or their grandparents have been vaccinated, or they're getting vaccinated really, really soon. And we're seeing really lovely things. Like, as we expected, we expected that the cases would rise. You can't open up society without these cases coming back up. But we're seeing that 77% of the cases that are happening are under the age of 45, which is, it's expected. These are the people most likely to interact with more people. And that includes the under 29 bracket. And the people under 29 make up 50% of the cases. But this is normal. As we open up, it's especially this age group which is yearning for that getting back outside. And as we are, our R value is somewhere between 0.9 and 1.1, and the latest NPHET model is predicting 1.1, just for now, because it's kind of playing it on the safe side. No shock there. So from May 10th, they're expecting that the R value will increase to 1.25. Now, this is all about how many people will see another person. Effectively, this is saying 1 in every 4 people will see one more person. And that's not too unrealistic when it comes to people with COVID. And as such, they're kind of aiming the rollout of opening up society along these things. And the 2 dates that they have in mind is the 10th of May, where they expect the R value to be 1.25, and the 7th of June, where they expect it to jump up to 1.5. But this is projected, this is expected. And in the latest worst case scenario, which is, I remember I was going through the models that they predicted at the start of April, but in the latest one, it's actually quite nice. We really, really have gotten rid of the most terrible of situations with everyone's compliance over the last month. So fair play to you. And in this worst case scenario, the cases are being driven down, no matter the case, by the end of June. We're seeing this downward trend as herd immunity comes in, as we see 80% of the population of Ireland getting their first vaccination dose. And once you get that first vaccination dose, it really helps. That first vaccination dose is enough for you to have an immune response. The reason we get the second dose is because it gives you long-term immunity. It gives your immune system a chance to really log that in. But as we keep this in mind, and as we expect cases to rise as the country opens up again, it's also interesting to note that the number of cases in hospitals and the number of deaths are still going down, and we expect them to continue to go down, because even though the cases might increase, all the people most at risk of getting severe illness from COVID, they're all getting vaccinated and they're all getting protected. Like, we're hitting 30% of the population with their first dose this week. And that's 1.5 million vaccine doses given. We're averaged out last week, I think, something like 30,000 per week. And we even had a day with 40,000. And when you consider that the week beforehand, the week before that, we were getting an average of 20,000 a day. So you can kind of see it is ramping up. It is increasing dramatically. And I think we'll be surprised how quickly it goes. But still, there's always people who there's people who miss the way that any of these maths and any of these stats work. Like, we saw, there was a article that came out of The Independent, and it said that these counties are above the average number of cases and must come down, or something like that. And it was just like, yeah, that is how averages work. Well done. Very proud of you. I just thought it's one of those obvious things of like, yes, math, that is how the math works. People keep getting bamboozled by it, and these headlines are just, they're not ideal. Anyway, let's talk briefly about the opening up. So from today, construction around the country is coming back. That'll be great for people who are dealing with that, but it has no relevance to me, so I'm moving on. From May 10th, and this is the stuff that we care about. From May 10th, the outdoor visits amongst two households, so two households can get together in their garden and stuff like that, and maybe have a barbecue, have a few cans, that's all good. Or an outdoor gathering of up to 15 people is also allowed. Also, thank gosh, I can't wait to go home. Inter-county travel is back, and we'll be able to go and see our loved ones and go and see the friends that we haven't seen in so long. And that's great. We're going to see the bus and the trains coming back to 50% capacity. You can do collection shopping. You can finally go to the barbers, which I know you've been dying to do, with everyone with their lion's mane haircuts that they have going on. They can finally get rid of it. The museums and the galleries are coming back, and thank God there are adult trainings coming back, because oh my gosh, it was such a part of my week for so long, and I just cannot wait to get back to competing and being able to run hard, even if it's poorly, just run and work. And that's very exciting, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who feel this too. The following week, May 17th, we'll have the shops reopening as normal. That's great for them. From June 2nd, we'll see the hotels and the B&Bs open up, and the people staying in these places can, the hotels can, have the restaurant there for them, but not take people in from outside. And then based on where we're at on June 7th, that's when they're going to consider, will they allow people to visit each other indoors? Will outdoor hospitality, aka the pubs, will they open up? Gyms and pools and adult matches with no fans. So this is, we're getting sport back this month for training, but next they have to organise playing matches against each other. And that's good. And at the current rate and the current levels of compliance, that's all really good, and it's all really likely, and it's all very hopeful. From July 5th, they're considering like the mass gatherings of people, like fans in stadiums or going to concerts and things like that, if that can open up. Then indoor sports again. They're talking about workout classes and indoor hospitality. So actually going into the pub and having a pint, which is something I think that's when we're going to really see normalcy returning. And thankfully, with the way that this is going, once it's here, it shouldn't be taken back. With a pinch of salt, because, there could be a tornado, who knows, there could be some terrible thing that would occur. I don't want to say it, but I suppose call me nervous after a year of frustration and surprises and all of that. Take it with a pinch of salt. But from July 5th onwards, it's a good sign that we will, as we currently stand, we could be getting these things back. And that's nice. I think we're all really looking for that. So this is a short episode this week. I'm not going to go into any questions. And the only thing I'd say for the mental health, I think this week, maybe everyone should just focus on the simple things. Like over the last week, I've literally just been focusing on sleeping. Sleeping, eating, and going outside for a walk. Not for exercise or anything like that, just to change my scenery around. Really, really basic things. Look after your habits, the things that you do all the time. Call yourself out on things that you could do a little bit better, because it is going to get easier, and we are getting to a place where we can finally return to the people that we actually are. And I think we're all really looking forward to that. And everyone I'm talking to, they can't wait, and I can't wait to see them. The last thing I'll leave you with, and I'm not going to do the questions this week, the last thing I'll leave you with is this concept from Japan that I heard on the talk that I had with one of the members of NPHET this week. Maybe I'll chat about that next week. Breda Smith gave us a presentation talking about the outbreaks in Galway. I might mention that next week. But we were brainstorming about what to communicate to young people afterwards, and one of the people in the chat brought up something the Japanese said, and they came out and they had this idea of the 3Cs, and the 3Cs are just things to keep an eye out for, because a lot of this will come down to people having some common sense, that amongst all of these guidelines, you just need to have COP, and COVID's not gone. Things are opening up, but COVID is not gone. So the 3Cs are: avoid crowds, avoid places of really close contact. So like if you have to push through a bunch of people, just go around instead. And closed spaces. Because these are the three things that really increase the likelihood of developing cases of COVID. Crowds, close contact, closed spaces. And well, to make it a little Irish, I'd say, and have a bit of cop too. On that note, best of luck to everyone this week. Go for a walk. Look after your sleep. Maybe don't drink so much caffeine. Like, that's what I was doing. I was trying to cut caffeine out of my diet after a certain time. And look after yourself. And get excited. And look forward to going on walks with people and going across county lines for a change. It is positive and it is good vibes. Okie dokie. Best of luck. Spread the good. You can do it.
Still there? Ado here. How are you getting on? So, just wanted to say a quick thing at the end of this episode. Me and Andrew have worked our butts off in production and recording and all that good stuff after the episode is done. It actually takes a lot of time to make these, and we do love doing it. So, if you feel like you could give us a quid here or there in the Patreon, that would be amazing. If you can't, no bother. Don't worry about it. Please still listen and be part of the community here. But if you can, amazing. Okay, God bless you. See you next week for Spread the Good.